from Earth Mama Farms Daycare, and I'm here with Paul Baines, and we're going to talk to you today a little bit about the Water Commons framework and what that means for Elgin County. Paul, I wonder if you'd be able to introduce yourself and talk about what organization you represent.
Hi everyone, my name is Paul Baines, and I sort of got into this work of starting a collaborative map called the Great Lakes Commons Map, which was an online tool for people to look at the Great Lakes and to sort of start naming and marking what a Great Lakes Commons would look like with data, discussion, or story. So they can use text, photos, and videos. It's sort of like a wiki and a map together.
Okay, and basically at this point you're trying to start a conversation. What is the conversation about, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, often we see water as a resource, or as a service. What can it do for us? To grow our food, clean our waste, cool our energy sources, or water as sort of a playground, or even like water as H2O, as chemistry, how to like take this out and put that in and make it healthy for us. What we're trying to do at Great Lakes Commons is trying to really go a bit deeper and say that water is also a commons, and a commons is all the things that we share, inherit, and pass on together in perpetuity. And that's usually the perspective of water that's lacking, and we feel like that's the sort of missing piece of the puzzle that allows both the sort of like the legal laws, but a lot of the social practices and cultural practices, which allows us to, in many ways, not give gratitude to the lakes and sort of normalize and legalize their long-term pollution.
So when you say commons, does that mean that the water itself would remain in public ownership, as in owned by the people?
Commons and ownership is a tricky thing. While on the one hand we have this idea of public and private. Public is tricky because sometimes the governments think that it's theirs. There's laws around public trust doctrine, which sort of gets the relationship a bit more correct, in which governments steward or trustees of these things on behalf of the people. But in many ways we see water as a gift, in which a combination of gift and duty, not so much about ours or yours, because in some ways we're all just borrowing these waters and we've been inherited them, and so we owning the waters gets a bit tricky. So there's a lot of thinking to do, and we're trying to get that conversation going to really help us think, on the one hand, if it is here, how did it, we don't really own it, but we do have a responsibility to protect it, if that makes sense.
I guess for me the question, as I said to you earlier, the elephant in the room is there some kind of hole in the legislation surrounding the Great Lakes? I feel that there is, I guess the word I would use is inadequate protection on the lakes themselves, and I'm concerned about that, and my motivation is to try to start a conversation with other people from other communities around the Great Lakes that maybe we could talk about that and see if there's some kind of legislation that we can come up with together that would protect the lakes and protect the water itself, and make sure that it's kept for drinking water as well as the other uses that are maybe more profitable.
Yeah, so rather than making a petition for the government or a set of claims right now, we've been working on a charter, which is a way for the citizens of the Great Lakes, or people who care about the Great Lakes as a gift, want to sort of stake out how they think they should be governed and what is our proper relationship with them. And we're asking people to sort of add their name and their support for that charter, which you can see on our website. We're also asking people to sort of share their worry and wisdom on our Commons map as well. This is a big conversation, and while there is this broad vision, a bold, a positive vision, working towards something, not just working against something, we feel that each local place, here we are on Lake Erie, will have its own solutions, its own strengths, based on the capacities of people here like Heather. And so I'm just happy to start the conversation off today by meeting up with Heather, and we're trying to give people as many tools as we can to facilitate those conversations so that we can get beyond looking at water as a resource or as H2O and think about what types of both legal laws but also sort of social contracts and cultural practices that do honor water the way it should be honored, so that we don't have to sort of play environment versus economy, or social versus environment, or even this idea of the environment being something separate from us.
And what's the website that you'd like people to look at if they want to investigate these issues even further for themselves?
Yeah, the sort of main website is www.greatlakescommons.org, and there you'll see the charter I just talked about, some more background materials, including a video that I made about the Great Lakes Commons, and also you'll have connections to the Great Lakes Commons map.
Okay, and on our end, for those of us in Elgin County, Earth Mama Farms Daycare is interested in starting up a network of people that are like us, concerned and want to start the conversation rolling. Maybe start a network of people that care about the lake and want to see these changes happen and want to see this conversation start to form. So if anybody's watching this that's interested in joining that network, they can come to our website at www.earthmamafarmsdaycare.com. And this is Heather Dirks signing off with Paul Baines, and thank you for watching.